You're listening to the World's Team Podcast. It's not just America's team, Cowboys Nation. It's the world's team. Now, here are your hosts, Paul Stewart and Mike Poland.
How about them Cowboys?
What's up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome to another episode of the World's Team. Remember, it's not just America's team, it is the World's Team. Brought to you by the Believe Network and sponsored by Cowboys Experience for all your game day experiences from stadium tours, tailgating, and so much more. Be sure to go to www.cowboysexperience.com. I am your host, Paul Stewart, and I am joined as always. You can find him on bloggingtheboys.com. It is Mr. Mike Poland. Mike, it has finally arrived. We're now on day 3, mind you, but man, a lot to talk about. Training camp's here.
Yes. Yeah, so it's like we actually get, in a light sense, actual football. It's good to see. You know, you get to see at this stage just like the balance of things. Like, where are they trying to put players? How are they trying to utilize them? There's a few things you can take away. Like, a lot of people put too much stock in some things, I think. Some people put in way too much stock in how many people are attending training camp. I'm like, really? That's what you're focusing on? For me, it's about the football. It's about the play. Don't worry about who's in the stands. So, yes, it's exciting. And there's been some good stuff to talk about this week already.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of positive, but there's also been, well, I guess even just right before training camp officially started, we did have the press conference with Jerry Jones. We'll get that out the way right now, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this. But obviously, Jerry made some discouraging comments about contracts, Trevon Diggs, Micah Parsons, Terrence Steele, and even Dak Prescott.
Yeah, you know what? At this stage, he's like the crazy grandfather at the wedding who's got the microphone at the meal. And, you're just there like, will somebody just get the microphone off him and tell him to stop and sit down? Just like, tell him to stop. Just stop.
It's like you're trying to conduct an interview with Ozzy Osbourne, but you just don't know what he's about to say. But and saying that, rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne, rock legend gone, and also rest in peace, Hulk Hogan, wrestling legend. But yeah, when I watched that press conference, I was just like, wow, what a way to really throw 2 of your star players under the bus, really. And I'm just like, this is not going to help things for contract negotiations. It's going to cost you even more because I would say maybe 6-7 months ago, Micah Parsons was talking about, I would happy take a team friendly deal, etc. Well, the way I'm seeing it right now, that's way off the table now.
Yeah. And like, Micah goes after the press afterwards and they're like, well, what do you think? And Micah's doing the same thing Jerry's doing. He's just knocking the ball back over the net. He's like, I don't
blame him.
Yeah,
I don't blame him.
Definitely play a player at the end of the day. And he's sitting there going, I don't know if this is the end, this is the end. And that kind of puts us in a state of panic. And Jerry then will see how negatively everybody responds to that and realizes, oh, this is not good. And on top of that, then you get the comments that they go, look, my agent has tried to contact the Cowboys front office, and the front office have, whatever you want to call it, declined to talk or
blanked. I would say
blanked. Yeah, it's been a struggle to communicate with them. So you kind of like go, ugh. Now at this stage, I will say this: I'm not in panic mode, completely not. The good news is Micah's at training camp. You can talk about what he's doing and all the rest of it, whatever. But the fact of the matter is that he's there, he's doing drills, he's working out, he's with the team, he's talking with the younger players and doing all the, he's ticking in that sense all the right boxes. That's what's important. He's
Yep.
there, which tells you come week one, no matter what happens, he will be there. Do I think a deal gets done before week one? I think so. I think either way, this deal
I
gets.
hope so. Like, because
I think it will.
obviously we were talking to a good friend of ours, Jess Haney from bloggingtheboys.com, also on the UK Cowboys fans show. And one of the points I made on that is like, I don't want to be in that same situation again where we just like hours before kickoff, we now get a contract signed. It's different this time because we're playing against the Philadelphia Eagles on opening day. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Like, and I want all of our players to be like focused on the game and not focusing about like their future, pretty much. Like, if we can get the deal done, say at best 2 weeks before the opening game, that gives time to kind of get your mind focused. Okay, my contract's sorted. Let me like study the playbook. Let me get my mental reps going. Let me like make sure that I'm on top of my game and get ready to play against Philadelphia. I don't want to be in that same situation where it comes to Micah Parsons hours before kickoff, got a contract signed. Now he has to really get his head wrapped around against who just won the Super Bowl, sadly. It's just not ideal. So that I really think that a contract's going to happen. I certainly hope so. Like,
Yeah.
if a contract doesn't happen, it's not just going to be like Micah Parsons going to be upset. It's Cowboys Nation's going to be upset about that. The majority of them, anyway. But I'm definitely full. I'm on Micah Parsons' side on this. Like, he's doing the right thing. He's trying to be the leader, as Jerry said he wants more of. I'm sorry, but Micah, as of right now, is kind of showing that right now. He's going to the practices. He's speaking one on one with the coach. He's trying to get these other guys rallied up right now.
Mm.
What more can you ask for? Pretty much.
Yeah, I'm with you. He's there. It's all business, and he, even despite all of this, Mike has turned around and says, "Look, I understand. At the end of the day, that this is business. And it's the way things are done sometimes." So he's been very mature about it. It's not like it's not like
It's not.
we're in.
It's not throwing the dummy out the pram or spitting
Yeah,
out the dummy. He's not doing that. Like, he's being super professional about
yeah.
this.
He's not doing like a Terry McLaurin, for instance. We're not in that situation.
Yeah, yeah,
Trey
yeah.
Hendrickson.
Yeah, well, yeah, well, that's a whole different scenario, I guess. I
Do you
can
know
understand what.
Hendrickson posted on his Instagram? Did you see that?
Nope.
Posted his Instagram. Basically, was in Florida.
Oh wow,
So that's it. That's like I'm not even in Detroit.
Detroit? Do you mean Cincinnati?
Cincinnati. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh dear,
It's
but
because we were
yeah,
talking to Detroit, UK Detroit fans earlier. Sorry.
that's right. Yeah, but in terms of actual training camp, though, Mike, a lot of good positives have happened, and I mean a lot has
Mm-hmm.
happened. So we'll start off with Donovan Ezeiruaku, our rookie second round draft pick.
Yes. So it's been moving along nicely. Day 3. So Thursday's practice. Basically is dominated. He's been even up against the firsts and has been basically getting into the backfield, creating havoc, creating pressures. So basically, even Nick Harris and all these guys, they're commenting on Ezeiruaku's performance, particularly today. It was Thursday or whichever day you're on, the third day of practice.
Today's Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. So it's just like a blur at the moment. So yes, really good to see. But ironically, for the likes of like say you and me, that paid quite a lot of attention to Ezeiruaku, it's kind of like in a sense, it's like cocky optimism. It's kind of like, yeah, we knew he was going to always be this guy.
Well, and this is the thing. This is what I'm getting really excited for. Like, obviously, we hope the Micah Parsons situation
There
gets
we go.
resolved.
There we go.
Like,
Go on.
when you've got two guys are very similar in style of play. Used
Yeah.
to be they play like linebackers, but they're defensive ends.
Mm-hmm.
They're very statistically high up there in its food chain in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
Ezeiruaku and Parsons side by side at each end of that defensive line is going to be so much fun to watch. It's like I can't fathom that. Like it's going to be exciting, man.
I love it. I mean, and then suddenly you're in a position on defense where the offense, the opposition, is going to sit and go, pick your poison,
Well,
and it
but
frees up your linebackers because they're able to flow because your middle of your defensive line suddenly becomes less double teamed because they've got to worry about your bookends. So it just, in general, two guys can completely evolve and it transports your defense completely different from what we've had before.
I said this earlier, like off before we went on the air and stuff like that. But the scenario of like third and long, and you've got Parsons and Ezeiruaku at each end. If I was any quarterback, I would be creating my boots if that's the
Mm.
case.
And think about
Or
this. Say you are third and long. You're like third and six. Obvious passing down situation. You've got those two guys on the outside. Or what you could do is then add another guy into the mix, like, say, Dante Fowler. Now, what are you supposed to do with that?
what can you do? Like,
It's just
and
wild how it can be so different.
and the bonus point is as well is like with Izaraku and Parsons, very similar traits. It's not so much their ability to actually beat the guy one on one in the offensive line. It's the pursuit of
Mm,
getting after the quarterback. If a quarterback was to leave the pocket, my goodness, you're going to have two absolute dogs chasing after this guy,
very
like
quick.
very quick,
Mm,
and they have the ability to move so quickly and change their direction.
yeah, flexible.
That's the that's the that's the creme de la creme where it comes to that scenario.
And what I like with Izaraku, they're slightly different to Micah. I know they're similar in terms of how they pass rush, but with Izaraku, the run defense is there as well.
Yeah, yeah. And speaking about like run defense and stuff like that as well, we've heard some reports about Mazzy Smith and stuff like that. We're still a bit unsure what is going to happen with Mazzy Smith.
I feel genuinely sorry for the guy. And the PR that he's getting from Cowboys Nation, although justified because you're frustrated with the first round pick and you're going Taco Charlton, we didn't learn our lesson, Michigan, not defensive lineman. I just feel for the guy in terms of he's onto a get since he's joined the NFL, he's with another defensive coordinator. So this is his third one, and he's been asked again. So a change from last year, which was a change from his rookie year, but he's been asked to change. He's been asked to shed some weight and try and play the three tech position. I just this is exactly like if you wanted to tick every box on how to ruin a rookie player's development, especially in the position he's playing in. If you want to tick all the boxes on this is how you destroy it, and this is how you mess it up, the Cowboys have gone all the right ways about it.
Yeah, sadly, I totally agree with you, man. Like, and
Doesn't make
it's
any
it's,
sense.
it's disheartening because I had high hopes for Mazzy. I really do. I still do
Powerful
because
guy.
we got to see some glimpses of that last
Hmm.
season,
Hmm.
especially against, like we mentioned, how he played against the Giants. We saw that little bit of aggression coming out of him in the
Yeah.
rival games, and he had that step about him, you know. So, but it feels like we're just kind of like rewinding the clock on him again, like trying to reinvent him once again. It's like, why can't we just like progress of what he's been doing? Like keep him on that same path. But hey ho, but
They say when you draft a guy, you elevate, don't create. And the Cowboys are constantly, since they've got Mazzy in, they've gone, right, let's try and create what we want out of him. And it's just that's how you fail. That's how most quarterbacks fail, is because they get into the NFL, and the coach who's there has a very particular idea or plan for what he wants from a quarterback, and they try and
Right,
create something out of him that's not there.
style, the type of
Yeah,
playbook. Like for example, like if you draft a quarterback's more of a pocket passer,
yeah,
you're not gonna make him into like a running based
a
quarterback like
scrambling
your
type.
Russell,
Yeah,
scrambler. Like
yeah,
it just doesn't work. Like
yeah.
the same could be said for your other positions like defensive end. Like you're not gonna convert your run stopping defensive end to become like the best pass rusher. That takes development.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, you're not going to get a heavy, a very weighty nose tackle and get him to shed weight and make him just play the three tech position. It's just not going to. You've never learned the techniques. Most
yeah.
definitely, Mazzy didn't in Michigan while he was playing there. It's just the whole thing. It's very demoralizing when you watch it because you know that the guy is talented. He is a good run stuff in, nose tackle. He's been hindered by the Cowboys system over the last 3 years since he's come in, and that's what's really messed him up. What is that? This then has led Cowboys fans to be frustrated.
Well, speaking about system, well,
Mhm.
it's not really a segue per se, but we we are getting to see some good offensive action. In
Mhm.
particular, we're actually getting to see the pairing of George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, and it's not disappointing. It's it's actually gotten us more buzzing going forward. I have to say, especially today, what we just witnessed, George Pickens catching the one-handed grab,
Oh
like
yeah,
and just seeing the chemistry between those two wide receivers, along with Dak Prescott, we're seeing something potentially very special getting built with this offense this year under Brian Schottenheimer.
yeah. And like what is good? So like we as soon as that free agent signing was made, we were like excited. Everybody
Free,
was.
free
Most
agent,
Cowboys and you what? Sorry,
free agent.
with Pickens.
He's not a
Oh
free
well,
agent.
trade. Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, but when they did all of this, it was like that was a slam dunk straight away. You look at what they're doing in terms of in training camp at the moment, where CeeDee Lamb's taking we've seen a few where he's taken across the middle and some deep passes, but a lot of them so far have been quick passes out. We've seen a few bubble screens and tunnel screens today, which is great because you think, oh, nasty. But then you're watching, as you say, George Pickens high and across the middle, one-handed catching effortlessly, by the way. You
Made it
watch
look
him on these
easy,
it was
easy,
effort,
Mike.
just like it was like he just somebody had just gently gently tossed him as something soft. You just go, okay. But you're seeing these deep passes. You're seeing some post plays from Pickens, making them look easy, adjusting to the passes. And you just watch all of this, and you watch the other things that they've added in as well, which we can talk about, like say with Turpin, the running backs, and Jake Ferguson as well. And you look at that, and you just think, like this is a duo that looks really, really. They just look almost impossible to defend. And what was scary is on Tuesday. Was it Tuesday? It was Wednesday. Pickens left training early. It was down to cramp. Luckily, we
Cramp,
see him.
yes.
Yeah, we see him back Thursday. But you could see from
Today,
everybody.
yeah.
Yeah, you could see how everyone was panicking because they were like, Pickens is down, Pickens is gone, and you're just like, oh. So it means a lot that people understand. In a way, you kind of think like, could this have been what Lamb and Cooks could have been if Cooks could have really stayed
Yeah,
healthy and it's almost like that. But I think Pickens is a much
it's more polished, I would say.
yeah. I mean, like
More
Pickens is more.
well-rounded.
Here's what I will say: Cooks is one of the best wide receiver twos in the NFL. That's without a doubt. But Pickens to me isn't a wide receiver two; he's a wide receiver one. So you've got two ones playing. So you're already you've upgraded, if you like.
Yeah, totally.
And you're
Like,
seeing it.
oh, we're seeing that as well, but it's also speaking about like some wide receivers. Jonathan Mingo has been making some headlines as well.
Mm.
He like, and I've been saying this for weeks, not in fact months, Mike. What did I say? Like when we traded for Jonathan Mingo, like he came in like halfway through the season. He only dealt with Cooper Rush because Dak
Mhm.
Prescott was injured. Now he's had the off season. Now he's got to work with Dak. We're actually seeing what Jonathan Mingo is a little bit about. Even though we're only 3 days into training camp, so it's Tuesday, Wednesday, and now today, which is Thursday, we got to see some action of Jonathan Mingo, and he's making an impression. He's like, hey, listen, I'm resetting the button on myself. I'm here to make a name for myself and be part of this football team. And we're seeing that. We're seeing the Jonathan Mingo that we did not get to see at Carolina and last year for that half of the season. We got to see some of that glimpse of Jonathan Mingo when he was back at Ole Miss back in college. So I'm excited to see how things progress. And it wasn't just with Dak Prescott, it was also with Joe Milton.
Mhm. Yeah. And I mean, he did have a bad drop today, but drops are going to happen. And if
It's gonna,
anything,
yeah, it's
if
part of
you
the
want,
process.
yeah,
Yeah. Part,
and like, I want the drops to happen in camp.
yeah.
Get them out your system now.
Yeah, and he was. I thought Mingo was very unfortunate. There was one play with Joe Milton, and
Yeah.
it was the long ball. You're talking about 50, 60 yards down the pipe, across the field, and Mingo was just inches away from making that
Mm.
grab, like full extension, basically like Superman to try and catch the ball, and just slightly fell short. But man, but the effort, the determination's there. Like I think when the fact that you've got quarterbacks that have the ability to throw it out and give him the opportunity, he's going to go out and go and get it. Unfortunately, when he was in Carolina, he never really got that opportunity because Bryce Young kept getting sacked because the
Mm.
Panthers' offensive line was so dismissal. It
Yeah.
was terrible.
Yeah. Yes.
Um, your phone's going off.
Oh, it is. Sorry, let me move that. Somebody's trying to phone me. Sorry. um.
That's not going to sound great in the edit.
Yeah. I'll. It's over there now. It's gone. Yeah, I do like what I've seen from Mingo, and it's he's shown good route running, concentration catches as well, because there's been defenders up against him and he's been able to push and make those catches. Talbot, on the other hand, I mean, like, he has cropped up on my feed a couple times where
Yep,
he's made
same.
some plays. So you kind of like at this stage, you think Talbot is doing enough to stay ahead. We're talking, this is 3 practices in. Let's see what happens once the pads come on. Let's see what happens
When
when,
scrimmage happens.
when all the guys are on the field, and blue white scrimmage, that'll be huge for the likes of guys like Mingo and Talbot that are sort of encased in that battle at the moment.
Absolutely. Also, when it comes to going back to the defense, so Kenneth Murray today hasn't been in action because he has a new baby, so he's been attending to that. So Maris Leafu has been in today so far and getting more reps, and he's been absolutely on fire. Like
Mm.
especially today, he's been on fire.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is last season, Overshawn goes out, Leafo comes in, and he was building momentum. That as the season was drawing on and on, I was finding I was writing more and more about him, and he is impressive what he was doing, and it was completely out of the blue. Then you see this today where he's going out there, he's making plays where he's getting into the backfield, he's causing a fuss, he's getting to the ball carrier. It's not tackling, it's more like a tap, or you tap the helmet. And he's doing all of that. Very interesting, especially nowadays you've only got sort of 2 linebackers on the field at a time because you played nickel so much. But it's good to see that Leafau is a guy who's going to be in that mix, because I
Absolutely.
like him. I think he is a good linebacker. He just needs to continue to develop, and the trajectory he's on, getting tongue twisted there. is fantastic. That is, if he continues on the slope that he's on, I mean, he could be one of the team's most underrated players this season.
I think he currently already is, if I'm being perfectly honest
Yeah,
with you, Mike.
yeah.
But yeah, like the thing about Learfield, one of his best traits is his ability, like him studying the game. I think it's
Mm, mm,
his ability to adapt more so. Like it reminds me in a way of a Sean Lee. Like he's one of those guys.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
he'll give you an answer if you were to question him in the game, like the film room, he'll know the answer. What went wrong, what can be improved. I know how to improve. Like identify what broke down the play. Like he's one of these type of guys. He's all about film study, and we would notice that during the whole draft process. When came to Leafau, I think he's going to be fundamental when it comes to Matt Elbifus, when it comes to going forward with our linebackers, and that's one thing that Elbifus is good at, is developing linebackers. Not
Mm.
even just as a linebacker coach, but just overall of all the players. Even when he was at Indianapolis, like some of the linebackers that came out of there under him as the defensive coordinator really excelled under Matt Elbifus.
Yeah, yeah. I'm excited to see what this linebacker core can do, because like it's practically a whole new one with Overshown out of the
It's
mix.
in general, it's a whole new team, mate. Like a whole new offense, whole new
This is
coaching.
true.
Like
This is
it's a
true.
whole
Yeah.
reset. It's like, and I said this before we went off air. Like we're going into this season as if we're opening up a mystery box. We just don't know what we're opening yet.
Yeah.
Like trying to peek into the mystery box to see what we've got, and so far we're quite excited about it. But we won't know till the full reveal of the box until the season really fully starts, and we'll see how it materializes from there. But yeah, but kind of moving on from that. Also in other news, Dak Prescott has been
Mm.
running some RPOs, Mike.
Yeah, running some read option, running some RPOs. Very interesting to see. He actually scored a touchdown on Thursday off an RPO. Also made a great play to CeeDee Lamb out on the flat on an RPO. So kind of like had the option, seen Lamb was available, kind of arced the ball over a pass rusher that's coming to him that went straight to CeeDee Lamb. Lamb's gone. So you see both sides of the RPO. The Dak he is able to operate under it. It's great, and I mean it's Dak doing that, but you're also seeing Joe Milton doing it as well. So it is obviously something they're trying to push on this playbook, and we all know that Dak can run
Yeah.
because, yeah, I mean, like it's the one thing that probably frustrates Cowboys fans, and I know it's probably not, because Cowboys fans have a lot to say about Dak. But one of the common things, whether you like Dak or not, that Cowboys fans get frustrated about is the fact that he doesn't run as much as he used to. I get it that he has the nasty ankle injury, and I don't think it's so much Dak doesn't want to run. I think it's more been apprehension from the front office saying we don't want Dak running, because last time we lost him for nearly that. Well, we did lose him for the entire season, but it could have been career ended. So let's not do that. But you're seeing that this coaching staff is willing to try it and do it. And we're seeing that Dak is still effective at it. He was the same at Mississippi State. That the rushing side of it all, the running, Dak is really, really good at. And he does need to continue to do it. And it adds an extra element to this playbook. We just spoke about Lamb Pickens. Yeah. How they create a threat on their own. Now imagine, okay, the running backs are doing their thing.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Jake Ferguson is what he was 2 seasons ago. Then all of a sudden you start throwing RPOs in with Dak, and Dak's moving, he's running and he's getting, say, I don't know, 20 rush yards, because that's all it needs to be. 20 rush yards per game. Your defense is now stretched vertically, laterally, and by the third dimension by having to try and watch what Dak is doing with his legs. It's an insane thing to look at if they do continue to push this idea, this part of the playbook down the road.
Speaking about like continuing with the offense, you just mentioned running backs. So
Mm.
hit me with it, mate. What have you seen so far with the running backs so far?
Um, they're not running in pads. So it makes
Come on, give me more than that.
I know, but it's more like because they're not. What I mean is they're not running in pads, and you've got the likes of certain types of running backs like Javonte Williams that love to run behind their pads. They're that type of runner. Phil Maffer is that type of runner, and it's kind of tough to watch these guys and then fans be frustrated with this style of running. It's like, but they're not running in the way that they would under normal circumstances. But what is good to see, Jaden Blue has been taking some passes out to the flat, out in the backfield on like extended sort of handoff, dump offs, if you like. And you're watching the guy fly. And you're just watching that going, ooh, ooh. Now, we knew in the receiving game, Blue was going to be effective and that he is good at it. You're just now seeing what people talked about put into practice, and it is happening. Blue, number of times this week now, has kicked right off. In terms of other running backs, Sanders has been pretty, like, he's kind of changing my opinion a little bit on him.
I think he's here to prove a point. If I'm being honest.
Mean, it's good. It was good what we've seen so far. The big surprise is Deuce Vaughn.
It's Vaughn. Yeah. What the hell? Like he has been the forgotten man. Everyone thought he could be a casualty. Like he could be one of the surprise cuts, but the way he's been running right now, the way he's been working with under Joe Milton and a couple of snaps under Dak Prescott, he's looking really sharp. And the size factor, like obviously, like you kind of mentioned, Mike, like it's going to be a different scenario when the pads do come on. But from this initial standpoint, man, Vaughn's looking really good.
He's looking slick. 2 days in a row too. So on the Wednesday, he was making runs, bouncing to the outside as well, which is important because in the past they tried to use him hit the A and the B gaps. I don't know what that's about. But you're watching him go off tackle, running out hard, and he's been able to get out quickly and use that quickness and that speed. Fantastic. On the Thursday practice, does the same, runs out to the left and just leaves everybody. He dirted everyone, just left them for dust. Scores a touchdown. So, I mean, he's been one of the more relevant surprises. But I think what's important is because you've got this cloud, this haze over Turpin, who, by the way, has been playing well as well in practice.
Yeah. I will say about Turpin. He was interviewed today, and he says like, I need to take the accountability of my actions about obviously what happened. He spoke about the arrest, so I was like, fair play. That's exactly what we want to expect from you, to take accountability. He says I need to be better. So, and I think he's willing to accept any like fines and whatever not, but he just wants to move past it now and focus on football, which is the best response you could ask for from one of your players. So I'm happy to kind of move on from that perspective and let's see Turpin now. Just let the fine thing, like let it set its course, but now he can move on and start being back on the football field and perform. We got to see some of that today also.
Yeah. And Turpin's been fantastic. A lot of plays at the backfield, which is interesting. Does seem like they're pushing or trying to push for Turpin to get more involved in the offense, which I'm all game for.
I think everyone would be game for that.
Yeah, and you're seeing the speed because he's making cuts and breaking off, and the defense you can see trying to play catch up with him. Fantastic. But in response to that, in terms of what we were talking about before that with Deuce Vaughn, is I think with Deuce Vaughn, you're seeing those sort of plays-ish similar. So you think like if something does get handed down to Turpin, Deuce Vaughn now so far, not he's not like definitive, but what we've seen so far is kind of like, okay, at this stage, I'm quite happy that if Vaughn has to take over as the gadget player on the offense as well as catching kickoffs and punt returns, at this stage, I'm okay. Let's see a little bit more just to be certain, but right now I'm kind of like okay.
Yep, totally. But yeah, before we do finish up, there is one thing I do want to talk about. So there was one incident at a practice where, and this is where this gives me the green flag for Brian Schottenheimer. There was
Okay.
There was an incident on the practice field where players got into a bit of a tuffle, a scruffle, a fight, and basically Brian Schottenheimer had enough of it right from the get-go. Got all the players rounded up and laid it into every single player. Does not want to see any of that, and I quote, "Don't want to see any of that effing crap." Like I'm not going to say the actual full word because try to explain a bit, but you get what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say here.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to see this on this football team. He was very like straight to the point, no ifs, no buts. That to me is a great sign. Like finally, we've got a coach that is willing to lay down the rules to set a level of discipline for this football team going forward. But love to hear your thoughts on this, Mike.
I mean, like the Cowboys are since Mike McCarthy came in, most definitely during the McCarthy era. The Cowboys, in terms of penalty count, they've always been in like the top five. They've led the season 1 year,
Yeah.
and like there's nothing more. There's nothing more demoralizing, especially on offense, when you make a big play, but you've got to go backwards because of ill discipline. You've also, you combine that with the comments that Schottenheimer made, ironically, about Turpin that we just spoke about. He said he's got to be accountable for his actions. I'm going to lay down the law. You see that, but then you also see what happened during that scuffle. Player got injured, came right back, but still, regardless, he has the entire team there as well. So he's not like just saying it in passing. He's like, no, everybody together, listen to me now. Scuffles happen, right? It's high energy. There's a lot of pressure on some players, and they just want to do things. Breakouts happen. Passions run high. It happens. But it's how do you respond from that? And you've seen the response from Schottenheimer that I agree with you. Gives you
An
you say green flag.
indication.
Yeah, green flag, green light, and tick in the box, whatever you want to say is like, yeah, he's willing to stick his neck out and tell these players that all have big egos, like, no, that sort of stuff does not fly with me.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, mate. Like that, like it seems like every move that Schottenheimer does since he's been appointed has been like he's really he's grown
True.
on me every single day.
Mm,
So
mm.
I hope that continues. I just really want to start seeing this on the actual game
Yeah,
scenario. Like
yeah.
that's the only thing we're missing right now, mate. Like we've got training camp now. We're getting to see these players in action.
Mm.
We've got a lot more to cover in the next coming weeks. But yeah, folks, we're going to be back. Hopefully, we'll be back here on Sunday, hopefully, to catch up on the rest of training camp for the end of the week and give you an update what's been happening there. But before we do go, Mike, please tell everyone where everyone can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on Blogging the Boys or on Twitter at Kenfig Cowboy. That's Kenfig with a K, Cowboy with a K. And you, Mr. B.
You can find me on X and Instagram at I am Peace Stew. But yes, folks, we'll be back soon. But until then, enjoy watching training camp. And if you enjoyed the show, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. It would mean the absolute world to us. And but yeah, as always here at the World's Team, it's not just America's team. It is the World's Team. We'll see you guys next time.
That's a wrap on the World's Team Podcast. Smash that like button and hit subscribe, Cowboys Nation. This ain't just America's team, it's your team. Touchdown! It's the World's Team, only on Believe, where real fans live.
How about them Cowboys?